if there was ever somebody that was gonna trip up on the easiest, stupidest class you can imagine, here I am. So first and foremost, let me just say I realize it's been close to 2 weeks now. Like I said in the last video, I went on vacation, and as soon as I got back from vacation, I got sick as a dog and wasn't able to do anything from last Tuesday to today's Thursday. So I've been battling a sickness, but I'm finally starting to feel better, but you might still be able to hear it in my voice. So if I'm nasally and annoying, I'm sorry. So before I left, I started applied algebra, thinking I could knock it out pretty quick. And I realized that the calculator I have is a business calculator, not a algebra calculator. So I ordered a new calculator on Amazon because I figured it would make the course a lot easier, and ordered the actual one that they use in the course. So I put that one on hold. They give you a pretty good window of time to complete the course. I think I have 2 months for that applied algebra course. But I started another course, which is the first time that I've ever started 2 courses at the same time. But I put that one on hold, and I started Introduction to Spreadsheets. So I jumped into Introduction to Spreadsheets, and in my mind I was like, well, I already did a good amount of spreadsheet stuff in D100 Principles of Financial and Managerial Accounting. And in my infinite wisdom, I was like, well, I'll be able to knock this out in like a day, because I was leaving on vacation the next day. So I jumped into it. They got like 20 videos. They're like 2 minutes long that you can just run through. And I was feeling pretty confident. I took the PA and didn't pass it, but I was very close, so I scheduled the OA for the next day. Spent the remainder of the morning that I had going over the things that I didn't do that well on. I mean, it's not a very hard class, and I studied what I didn't do well on, jumped into the OA, took all of it, was feeling super confident, like overly confident. I don't know if it's because I've been doing decently well so far on all my classes or getting lucky or whatnot. But I finished it, turned it in, got it back, and I failed. Talk about a real kick in the nuts. I kind of felt like Tommy off of Tommy Boy.
Forget it, I quit. I can't do this anymore, man. My head's about to explode. My whole life sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going.
So that was depressing. Looking back, I probably jumped the gun a little bit, honestly. I didn't dive into it as much as I probably should have. I was just trying to get through it and get done with it real quick. I didn't take any of the unit tests or lessons or lesson tests or quizzes or whatever. And after I got back, that was the other crappy thing, is I didn't even have time to do anything. Once I failed it, I was like, well, I'm leaving for vacation, the very next morning. So there's really nothing I can do. But I went on vacation, got sick, came back. But when I started finally feeling better, I jumped back into it. And I guess this would be a good time as any to talk about what happens when you fail. So as far as I understand, you can fail a course at WGU, and you have that's like a freebie. You can take another OA, and it doesn't cost you any money. But if you fail 2 OAs back to back, you have to pay for the third and the fourth one. And then as far as I understand, I keep saying as far as I understand because I'm not 100%, but this is what I've read and how I think it goes, is that you can fail 1, you can fail 2, but if you take a third OA, you have to pay for it. And if you have to take a fourth OA, you have to pay for it. And then if you fail 4 OAs, then I think they start discussing with you about a different program. That might be something to discuss with your program mentor. But so when you fail an OA, your instructor will reach out to you and give you a course of action. They'll give you things that you need to do. And what my instructor told me was you didn't do any of the unit tests or lesson quizzes. So I was like, all right. Well, and I jumped when I got back and I was feeling better. I jumped into those, and I probably should have done those from the get because they helped out a lot. They don't go exactly over what the OA is and the PA, all the stuff, but it's a lot of the same things, and it gives you a much better idea of what they're looking for and what they're asking for. And that's a lot of the thing with this course is there's very specific ways they want you to do things inside of this course. There's certain ways they want you to calculate, the days and the way they want things punched into charts and things like that. And those unit tests and quizzes, I actually didn't take any of the quizzes, but I just did all the unit tests. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. But I did all of those, and those helped out a good bit. So after I did that, I took the PA again and did close to exemplary on it and scheduled the OA for about an hour later and passed it. Now, the only real tips and tricks or advice that I could give on this course is the OA and the PA are exactly the same. Like, they're the same exact test, just with different numbers in it. So if you pass the PA and you do well on the PA, you're going to pass the OA. It's the exact same thing, just with different numbers, you know. Something to keep in mind also is that you can take the PA an infinite amount of times. Like, there's no limit to how many times you can take the PA. So if you do really well on all of it and there's one section you're struggling on, exit out of it, go back into it, go to that one section and figure out what you're doing wrong. You know, pull up what's going on, like the course material, and scroll to it and see, you know, read through it, see what it is that you're doing wrong, and only take that portion and then submit it. And it doesn't matter if you pass the PA or not, just see how well you did on that one section. And just keep doing that on all the sections that you're not doing well on until you get it right, and you should be perfectly fine. Now, the course is only a 1 CU course, so if there was ever going to be anybody in the history of WGU that failed such a silly, stupid course, it'd be yours truly. But that's really all I have. I mean, it's not that hard of a course. You know, you can probably realistically knock it out. If you do a lot of Excel and spreadsheets and stuff like that, you'll probably be able to knock it out in one day, but I was brand new to it, so it stretched it out over a week and a half with a vacation in the middle of that and getting sick. But realistically, if you're new to it, you can probably knock it out in a couple days. But that's all I have. I'm jumping into applied algebra next. From what I've read, I should be able to knock it out in about 3 or 4 days. And I'll come back on here and post another video. It'll probably be about a week, though. My wife is taking me on a comedy show, so that's pretty cool. It's in Columbus. So, you know, football season's coming up here now, too, so it's really going to put a strain on how much I get done. But I'm going to try to fit as much as I can into it and maybe try to take Saturdays or Sundays or whenever my teams play, you know. But, again, that's all I have. Again, I really appreciate everybody, you know, interacting. It feels good that, you know, to go out and try to do something to help people and then have people resonate with it and react to it and stuff like that. So I really appreciate everybody commenting and subscribing and liking and everything. It's awesome. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Say bye, Obi.